Well, good afternoon. This is Marilyn Neal with All About Books and Media. I want to welcome you to Virtual World Media. We're here today, and I want to introduce you to our very special guest, all the way from Ghana. Well, let's hear what story and, more importantly, mission that he's on. Yanis, tell me, why are you here in Atlanta?
Well, first let me introduce myself, okay? My name is Yaniv Ben Eliakim. I am the Executive Director, Chairman of an NGO, non-governmental organization in Ghana, all right, called the Edenic Africa Restoration Society. I'm also the farm manager for the agricultural portion of that. And why I'm here is because what we're wanting to do with our people is that we have to create employment. And the biggest form or the best way to do employment is through agriculture. If you go back and check historically, agriculture, if it's successful, the country is more likely prospering. So we're going to use agriculture as the vehicle to help our people.
So one of the keys I'm hearing you tell me is food is essential to the economy of any nation. Is that correct?
Well, yes. I mean, think
and why
about
so?
it. Well, first off, think about it. You right now, whatever your profession is, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, whatever you do, whatever color you are, whatever your situation, your particular background as far as being from another country, it doesn't matter. Everybody eats.
True,
okay?
true. Daily.
Right. And so since everyone eats, you got to understand, when you're always talking about getting into a business, what business that you're going to always make money in, and that is food.
True, absolutely.
Right? So that's why, and we chose that as the vehicle to go forward.
So in America, most people think of the continent of Africa, that everyone has everything they need, particularly land. Land is in abundance. What about restoration are you trying to share with us today?
Well, we have to be honest with ourselves. First off, there is a lot of land not being used in the continent, okay? And the reason is because they don't have the mechanization to prepare that land to make it usable. Because right now, nobody, I had to do it, but to prepare by hand is not an easy piece.
Okay.
And that's kind of like it's a hindrance to them going forward. Okay.
So what's missing is, I'm understanding, are we talking about tools? You're saying the land is abundant. Is it water we're talking about? Is it the land? Is it the equipment? Is it the type of techniques? I understand that you teach farming in a way that's a little unique. Explain that.
So first off, let me correct you.
Yes.
I don't teach farming.
Oh, okay. He's not teaching farming.
I'm an agriculturalist.
Okay.
And as an agriculturalist, see, when you think about farming, you think about just growing some food, all right, about eating. But it's more to it than that. Because usually you think about a farmer, he's a yokel, he can't do no better. No. I walked away in 1999 from a shirt-and-tie job to get my hands back in the soil.
Okay.
And I saw how beautiful it was. And now, I wouldn't do nothing else. You got to get back to nature. But to address your question, what's happening is that when you stop and think about the whole thing, in fact, I really would like the opportunity to really go into a little bit more detail about the word agriculture and also what we're dealing with. For instance, agriculture is a compound word. All right, I'm gonna set the table for you.
Yes. Oh, yes. Please. We got to work with this. Educate. We're going to be educated.
Okay. So first off, it's a compound word. Agra and culture. Agra is from basically about the land. Agrarian, about the land. And culture is a way of living, a lifestyle. So now, the Creator made it where you're supposed to have a lifestyle that has something to do in harmony with the land.
True.
And it makes sense. Okay? And that is what I want to share with you. So again, I'm going to set the table for you.
Yes.
Then we'll answer all your questions in reference to what we're doing as far as here or whatever. But there's some things I want to share with you so you'll be clear at the scope of things.
Okay. And with that, I'm understanding that this is a project that's going to last how long? Is it a year? Is it a lifestyle change we're talking about?
It's forever.
Forever. And with that note, I want to take a quick break. and we'll be back with Virtual World Media. Thank you. Welcome you back. This is Marilyn Neal with All About Books and Media, and we're being represented here by Virtual World Media. We have today a very wonderful guest. We have Yaniv. Yaniv, tell us why you're here in the States right now.
Okay, again, my name is Yaniv bin Eliakim, and I basically am the NGO. I have an NGO that is called the Edenic Africa Restoration Society. And I'm here because I found out that the problem with Africa as far as agriculture is concerned is the mechanization. And we're here doing a fundraiser for that.
What do you mean by mechanization?
Basically, everything in Africa is basically labor intense.
Okay.
So and the biggest thing is that preparing the land is just so time consuming, and you don't really get nothing for it. So by having mechanization as far as a tractor and the equipment to prepare it, the land, people are willing to get back into agriculture, and that's the focus.
Are you suggesting that in Ghana, because Africa of course is a whole continent, so in Ghana specifically, the project that you are embracing, and everyone, I want you to look for us online because this is very, very important. We always talk about how can we be engaged? How can we cross the borders? What do we need to do to connect with our brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa? And we have a wonderful project. I want you to listen very closely and please take action. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, we have to be very clear about what we're talking about. And that is that agriculture is not just work. Agriculture has to be a passion, because what you're doing, you affect the lives of people. So let me just set the table up. When we say man was made from the dust of the earth, what does that mean? You can be dusty, you can be, that's not a correct translation. The correct translation is that man was made from the minerals in the earth, from the soil. Right. So now, understand that makes a difference. And they say that now that it takes at least 90 minerals that the body needs. Now, all right?
Yes.
That being true, you go now to mineralogy, all right, where they have all the minerals, it's 2,000. So wait a minute now. You got roughly 90 that you're using, but there's 2,000 in the ground. And if he made you from the dust of the earth, you're missing something. You're being depleted. So you're not really, in fact, the way he made you, you had everlasting life. But since you're not getting those nutrients, how can you have everlasting life? But
incredible.
More so than that, you got to understand, those minerals, all of them had a function for you. And that function is simply to, the heart needs a particular one. Iron, your body needs that. Your body needs iron. What for? Because if you don't get the iron, you're anemic. So you need all of those. So, and what we're saying is that until you get all of them, you're not going to be healthy. And that is why agriculture is important, but you have to start understanding where all that comes from. When we talk about how we're going to achieve immortality, nobody can't even comprehend that. Because when he made your body, like for instance, it takes 5 days for your stomach lining to regenerate. All right? It takes 6 weeks for your liver to regenerate. Okay? And in the course of a whole year, 98% of your body regenerate. All right? So if it keeps regenerating, where's death? Death is caused by the things that you do, the things that you eat. And we got to understand that. So I'm not just an agriculture, I'm not just a farmer. I don't do just that. I have to be conscious that whatever I do, it affects you. Absolutely. So I got to be particular about what I grow and how I grow it. Okay? And that's why it's bigger than just growing food. There's much more than that. And that is really what I wanted to share, that it's much bigger than that. Okay? So as we go forward, things that you have to understand, like when we just talked about the minerals, okay? We're not getting all those minerals. There are certain minerals you need to maintain your body. Now, what is eating? Eating is a cycle of the regenerative process of your body
Yes.
via plants. That was how he designed it. And the design was simply that it's in the soil, it's in the dirt, okay? Now you can't just eat dirt. He didn't design
No,
it like
cannot.
that.
Right,
He didn't design it like that. He designed it where it's in the soil. And when you put the plants are the intermediary. All right? They take up those minerals. And when you consume the plant, you get them. And that's how it was designed. All right? And that's what we're saying. We talk about agriculture, but in truth, we call it divine. And what divine means, in a manner pleasing unto God. Okay? And we got to get back to that. Now, let me just make a little disclaimer.
Okay.
When I say God, I'm not talking about religion, nor am I here to change anybody's religion.
Okay.
Okay? But there is a supreme being that designed it. This didn't just happen. It ain't just by chance. This
It's
doesn't
way
happen like
too
that. Right. So
intricate.
it was divine. And what we're saying is that once you understand the purpose, because that was a purpose, that was a reason he did everything he did. Right? Because he said from the dust of the earth, right? Or from the minerals of the soil.
Absolutely.
Now why it couldn't have been from the drops of the water or from the air?
True,
Why he didn't
true.
choose that? You know what I'm saying? That was a purpose. And he designed it just the way it's supposed to work. And we have got to get back in harmony with that, because that's where the blessing is. Okay?
Absolutely.
So that being said, when we talk about regenerative health, all right, that means going back to what? Regenerate, to renew. And that's what your body's supposed to be doing.
When
It's
it
constantly
eats,
renewing.
absolutely.
You're supposed to be renewing.
Yes.
Right? And we have gotten away from that. All right? Because now I heard somebody say to me, oh,
Well, one more time, I'd like to welcome you back. I'm Marilyn Neal with All About Books and Media, and this particular segment is brought to you by Virtual World Media. I'm sitting here today, and I'm with a very special guest, Yaniv. Yaniv, tell us again, we were just having a previous conversation about food and nutrition. Tell us a little bit more about GMOs.
okay. Again, my name is Yaniv Ben Eliakim. What I wanted to say about GMO, genetically modified organism, is that how it's produced and then why. First off, what you have to do is that you got a tomato. And you know, tomatoes are growing in the spring and the summer. Right? That's a seasonal thing. All right?
true.
But now, someone, we'll say Cain wanted to eat tomatoes all year round. So the only way he could eat tomatoes all year round, he had to do something. And what he did was, he went and got the flounder that stays in the ice cold of the North Atlantic and took the gene from a flounder and had to put it into the gene of the tomato. Now, that ain't no easy task. It's not easy, because what you have to do first off, to do that, your body has an immune system.
Yes.
Okay? And the immune system of the tomato will not allow that to happen, just like that.
Correct.
So what you have to do is, there are two things that can invade the body: viruses and germs.
Right.
So what they don't just get any germ, they try to get one that's so-called dormant or not functioning, right? They would put that gene piggyback on a virus, all right, and inject it into the tomato. Now, suppose that isn't completely dead, or something wakes it up. Now you got to deal with that virus or that germ in the tomato that you're eating. So what we're saying is, the Creator made a distinction. He said there was separation, everything after its own kind. Now,
Yes.
when you stop and have tomato and fish mixed up, you can't redo that. You can't. That ain't nothing new. That's something that's abnormal.
Yes.
And everything has limitation, has boundaries. And what they have done, they went against or outside the boundaries that the Creator set. And like right now, if you run a red light, you know, you have to pay repercussions. You might get by the
Yes.
first time. You might get
A
by the
couple
second
of
time.
times, right.
Yeah. But at some point, you're going to have to pay. All right?
Repercussions. Yes, there are repercussions.
So that's what we're saying here with the GMO. There's repercussions for going outside of the law.
So the law that we're referring to is what God has set in order.
Yes.
Plant life, animal life, everything has balance
Yes.
in the world.
Yes.
So tell me how your restoration project is going to put things back in balance.
Okay, well, you see, the name of the NGO, non-governmental organization, is called Edenic Africa Restoration Society. Eden. But Edenic comes from the word Eden. And you got to understand that when God placed a garden eastward in Eden, that means that Eden itself had a north, a south, and a west. Africa is Eden. Africa is Eden. So what we're talking about, restore Africa back to the Genesis, to its Edenic path, and we're going to restore that, and we're going to use agriculture as the vehicle to accomplish that. Because historically, we have found that when a country was successful in agriculture, they prospered.
Yes.
And that's what we got to get back to, because you got 85% unemployment in the continent. Well, in Ghana in particular, and we got to address that. And the best way to address that is with agriculture.
What are the food needs in Ghana?
Well, they have a diet rich in starchy foods, okay?
Oh.
And they really need green leafy vegetables.
Now, we all know what a diet rich in carbohydrates will do for your body.
And what they have done, they have taken on the SAD diet. Are you familiar with the SAD diet?
Oh, break it down for me.
Standard American diet.
Now.
And now they're having problems they never had before. They have a problem with diabetes, they have a problem with high blood pressure. Now they got those problems. And that go with that diet.
Yes.
Everywhere that diet is exported all over the world, you're having problems.
So, along with the progress that we've gotten by adapting many of the ways that are very common to the West, has come disease, dis-ease, disorder. So again, our purpose here is enlightening you to what the needs of the people are, how you and the audience can participate to make change. Who are we? We are change agents. Our goal is to set what is out of order in order based on what the divine has given us tools to do. And so how might they reach you? And what are you looking for the audience to help you with?
Okay, well, right now our project is to get mechanization, not on a great level, but at least to prepare the land. Because it's too labor intense, and that discourages. That's the biggest stumbling block for people to get into agriculture, because it's labor intense.
No
we
tools, not enough tools.
We want, and you want to do it on a big scale. You can do a little patch by hand.
Right,
but you can do no acres. No.
Acres. We're talking about acres of valuable land.
Okay, so to make that end come true, that's why we're doing a fundraiser. And what you would do is, I have a couple of phone numbers. I have a 404-855-6857.
That's a U.S. number.
Yes.
U.S.
Okay.
now. You can dial that shortly.
And you can also call 233-248-121471. That's Ghana. Okay? Now, we're also going through a website. Because we're out of the country, we have to go through a 501c3 here.
And that's a nonprofit, that 501c3, if you're not familiar, that is an officially registered nonprofit organization.
And with them, it's called www.globalgiving/project/sustainable organic agriculture.
I think we can remember that. Can you repeat that one more time?
www.globalgiving/projects/sustainable organic agriculture.
You can read that across the bottom of the screen. Please remember, many of us believe in giving. We have major impact on our global economic, gross national product here in the States. We know that we are the #1 consumers in the country. Take some of those dollars and redirect it to a project that's going to change lives, rebuild the body, and at the same time, it's going to sustain an entire community. We're asking you for your help. We're asking you to show compassion, vote with your dollars. We are an action community, and we do believe we are a brother's keeper. To that, I'd like to have you, again, thank our guests today, and please look for more online at Virtual World Media, as well as the website. Follow the directions below this broadcast, and we look forward to meeting you